On this episode of Ice Vikings.
Kind of a shitty crack.
There's no fish. Somebody been lifting our nets.
Watch behind you, Devin! Whoa, 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 whoa!
No sane person would do this. Come on, fishy, fishy, fishy. This is real fishing.
I'll kill you! Woot, woot!
Steampunk pirate.
You gotta be a little crazy to do this. Why do you want to come out in 40 below and push it? Woo!
That is very good fishing. It is worth it if you're catching fish.
That's the smell of money, baby.
Just another day in paradise, living the dream.
You can see the crack. You look down, it's really starting to work now. Lots of power.
It's the final day of the fishing season, and Jean and Candace aim to finish their quota. Anything unfilled is considered money out of their pockets. But first, they have to get to their nets.
That looks good.
You gotta smash it down. It's the only way you can get across. My good wife, Candace, will walk across. Then I only gotta worry about me, right? If I'm in the bombardier. So then she's got a good insurance policy, so.
Don't need me positioned.
You're good. Just go on the other side and, yeah.
Crossing the pressure ridge this late in the season is extremely dangerous, as the melting ice is getting weaker. Not only might they not reach their nets, but the bombardier could sink to the bottom of the 40-foot deep lake. Just off Gimli Harbor, Jean and Candace Pischke are racing across rough ice. This season they struggled to find fish to make their quota, but they think they finally found the perfect spot. They're going to check their nets to see if they're right, if they can get there.
Not good.
No, not good at all.
A pressure ridge blocks their path.
Sure not ideal.
No.
Ice expands with warmth, so it's got to push up somewhere. It's like an earthquake, basically the same thing. Just destroys your trail where you have been used to going. It slowly changes. It's kind of a shitty crack.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's opening up with the cold weather now. I think we'll just go right here. Get a little bit of speed up. Snowmobiles, you can go just about anywhere. Not so much with a bombardier. You can have big, big problems, and well, let's see what kind of problems I can get myself into.
Candace crosses the crack with her snowmobile, hoping to spot any unpredictable ice for the bombardier.
You don't want to have problems like half a bombardier hanging in it, and then you got to go and get it pulled out.
Bombardiers weigh over 1.5 tons. Crossing over a weak part of the ice can cause them to crash through. Jean cranks through at full throttle, hoping the momentum carries him across the weak ice.
Everything in one piece?
Yeah, I hope so.
The bomber takes a tough hit. Jean checks the ice where he crossed.
How's that?
Don't want to cross there again.
No.
That's what they're built for, though. Alrighty. Hit that pretty hard, eh?
Yeah.
Safely over the crack, Jean and Candace head out to their lifting caboose.
Make sure that line is loose, eh?
Yeah.
Good?
Yep.
And then more issues. This time with the lifting caboose's running line.
There it is.
Did it stick?
It's stuck.
Yeah.
It must have stuck on the reel. That's why we don't tie the net on right away, because if that happens, the net's going with it. So it just stuck.
Brought a different auger out. Doesn't want to run, so adjusted a little bit here.
And then the auger begins acting up. All these setbacks are putting them way behind schedule.
It's not running worth the hell. Kijiji fails. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I think I lost. Everything gets harder this time of the year. I was hoping there'd be better fish than what there is.
Much later than they hoped, it's time to lift their nets and see if they've finally found a spot where they can land a huge haul.
Something big coming, I think.
Our first cluster.
That's pretty good.
Looks good.
That's what I like to see, where we're both busy, not just one person watching the other.
I watch you all day long, baby.
Hands are sore. I got arthritis in my hands and feet. Some days that you're just dreading going out. It affects the way you walk. It affects what you can do with your hands. And with fishing, hands are everything. You have to think about how many nets that you can actually do a day now and how much fish you can actually pack, process, like headless and stuff like that.
Gene has battled with the pain of his arthritis for years as he awaits for a possible operation.
I don't look too much forward in fishing anymore where I used to. Don't know how much longer I'm gonna be going. You know, you don't want to believe it. Still hope. You still look forward to the day where you got no pain.
Oh, that's a bonus.
You don't mind getting a bonus like that at the end of the net. Makes it worthwhile.
Their new spot pays off and they're making progress on their quota. Near the Narrows, Trevor Christensen heads onto the lake.
I don't know why anybody would want to do this job. Who the f wants to go out in minus 40? And I don't know why, but I'm still love it. I'm addicted to the thrill of it, you know? I guess it's in our blood.
Trevor aims to finish his quota by the middle of March. Being the first one out on the ice this season has given him a head start. But lately, mechanical issues and bad fishing is holding him back.
There we go. PTOs are all such a pain in the ass.
Previously, they had issues with this same PTO.
The PTO's loose.
Chris and his crew attempted to fix it, but it's come loose again.
It's the same problem we had before. The L bracket on that's holding the PTO in place, that spinning black thing there, came loose.
Ready?
Trevor and Pete attempt a quick fix to the PTO, hoping it doesn't get any worse and it'll hold a while longer.
The bombardier's loud as it is, but when you start to hear something that's really loud, like abnormally loud, you have to just stop and turn it off right away. That thing could spin itself right loose and come off, and then our day is shot. And worse than that.
The power takeoff, or PTO for short, is an old system of powering an auger. It's run off the Bombardier engine and drives a belt at 3,000 revolutions per minute. It's incredibly dangerous if you get a hand or limb caught in it.
My dad brought that down to the shop, and they replaced the L bracket, except they just weren't tightened enough.
Because the PTO is driven off the engine, if the engine is running, the PTO is moving as well. There's no way to shut it off.
You could see on the back the PTO was spinning like this. It was wonky. So me and Pete just tightened it up. Well, we're gonna start our day. We haven't lifted anything yet, so we're gonna travel on and we're gonna try and do something today. Well, there comes my dad.
Trevor's dad, Chris, and his crew are heading to their nets, which aren't far from Trevor's.
I'll kill you!
Aren't you guys gonna come lift with me?
No, I haven't touched my 4 nets here yet.
Where's Pete?
He was sitting in the back, I don't know. Oh, he's lying down back under the PTO. He's sleeping under the tracks again. Hey, so this PTO came loose. Whoever put it on didn't tighten it at all.
We tightened it.
Well, whoever tightened it is a little weakling in my eyes.
See, the problem is those, you have to get fine thread bolts and a higher grade. Those are cheap junk bolts.
Can you show me how that works?
Just let it run a little bit.
With it
And
loose?
it'll find its own way, and then we tighten it up.
Tighten it while it's running.
Tightening the PTO while running is dangerous, but it may be the only way to fix it properly.
We've been out here for a couple hours already, and we haven't gotten any work done because of it. So I still have to use it all day today, so I hope it works.
So what do you want me to do?
Just let me tighten this. Is yours turning right now?
No.
A few weeks earlier, the Husavik crew discovers their snowmobile broken.
It's this that's broken, this bracket snapped off here, which made the shock useless. Typical.
Now stuck back at the shop, the Husavik guys take apart their snowmobile. It appears to be a broken track. Not wanting to waste any time taking it to the shop, they decide to take it apart and try and fix it themselves.
It hasn't been apart for a while, so I'm gonna have to use an impact gun to try to break it loose instead of a hand ratchet. Let's see if this works. It's gonna get loud.
They use an impact gun to remove the tracks of the snowmobile to see if they can find where the issue is.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. This is heavy. Whew. Okay, put her down. So this shaft must have broke.
Yeah, or the bolts came out, because this rides on here.
Oh, it doesn't bolt on?
Those are...
Done. Let's take the shock off, and I'm gonna take these two bogey wheels off.
The suspension is toast.
a couple bogey wheels, and this rod's bent, clearly. I wouldn't say it's as bad as we thought. We gotta take the shock off first.
The shock is definitely bent, is what that means.
Well, look how bent this rod is, right? I guess the whole thing jammed up.
Son of a
The shaft from the PTO's hitting the metal like the shell. It's so loud in there. We've been moving everything around to see what it is.
Back on the lake, the loose PTO is not only holding back Trevor, but also Chris and his crew as they give him a hand.
We'll slacken it off, let it find its own way, and then we'll tighten it up.
I'm afraid of stripping those stupid bolts. They're pretty shitty.
You gotta tell Grandpa, he knows, you have to go to Winnipeg, get fine thread bolts, and longer, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because you have to have a nut on top of a nut. This is what I used to do on my
I know what you're
bombardier.
talking about.
So
Yeah,
that nut locks down the other nut.
Yeah, yeah.
Otherwise, every time you drive, this thing's gonna come loose.
Those PTOs are just, you saw the other day, when does it break? When it's the windiest and coldest and you need to go do something. It's nothing Trevor grew up with, but I'm the one who's showing everybody what to do with it. I just don't want nothing to do with it anymore.
See, come here. Watch. Shut it off. Start it up. Wait, don't do it. Shut it off. Still not right.
Trouble on the lake.
Here.
The loose PTO once again threatens to shut down both Trevor and Chris's day on the ice.
Hey, you got that long thing, Pete?
Yeah, Pete's got a long thing, I heard.
Chris figures it out.
Okay, that's tight. Come back here, we'll loosen it. Where did everybody go? Hey!
Yeah.
Come here! It's up there.
Who, me? So what are you gonna do now?
We're gonna start it up when they loosen it just a little like we loosened it last time, Pete. And then you're gonna watch that shaft, and we're gonna move it until that shaft
Is running true, yeah.
wonky is the word of the day.
We're not gonna lift any nets today after all. There's a little L bracket holding that spinning PTO in place, and it came loose right away. You could tell in the bombardier, it was super loud.
We used to have to pull that off and give it a half turn, and then try to see it unwonky. Then we pull it off and give it a quarter turn. That way it got put into all positions.
Yeah, right.
But this, I am so sick and tired of.
Because the PTO runs off the bombardier's engine power, it needs to be perfectly balanced to run safely.
Other way, Pete. Tight, I can't move it. Turn it off!
We've been out here for a couple hours already, and it was fixed the other day.
Start up! How's that?
I guess I'm learning anyways. I mean, it's not a bad thing, and it's not a terrible day out, so. But I wouldn't mind getting some nets lifted. Why would it be wonky if you just put this new thing on? Wouldn't you got it on there true? Oh. I learned something today. As long as I can learn something every day, because I'm always making mistakes anyway, so.
This threads on right around the outside of that 1-inch shaft. See, look, come here.
Yeah, yeah.
So this has got a thread on it, and you'll watch it. This has got a thread on it. It's up into this hole with the hammer and tighten this on.
Yeah,
and then you're good to go.
With the problem solved, everyone gets back to work.
Okay, we'll take 5, everyone.
Woot, woot, steampunk, steampunk pirate.
It's 10 o'clock already. We gotta get to work, man. We left at like 7. We haven't done anything yet. All right. Let's go have some fun.